Hello everyone, I was on my own page. So I wasn't actually broadcasting on Explore and Draw. So I'm going to give you all time to catch up and come and find me on here because you've most probably shot across to Luna's Ego site. This is not without its hiccups. Welcome back to Explore and Draw Part 2, Explore and Draw Online Part 2. My name is Luna's Ego, and Explore and Draw is an art group created to encourage you to connect to your inner creative. Everyone's been doing lots of work at home. It's really exciting and very encouraging to see. I haven't had a chance to get these up online yet because I've still, the morning's just gone. I don't know about you. I haven't done too much at all. I've just been preparing for the second part. Sian set up a still life, her own still life at home, and that includes her dog. I was going to say about pets and animals when I said about cuddly toys, but so I'm pleased you've done that. Trish from the Rochester and West Kent Art Society, she's working with her left hand because she's got a bit of a problem with her right. I know that because I get a problem with my shoulder. Maybe it's just the curse of the creative, you get these ailments. Andre's been doing one at home. I did look at her backgrounds yesterday actually and thought how lovely they were, and she's done this one now. Andre, for the time that you've had, I think this is fantastic. Look at that, everyone. So that's Andre's drawing, and that background, you can see it's really, really brilliant, isn't it? So I've had a chance just to answer your messages, and Neil's been answering where he can. And we'll pull all of these paintings together later and we'll put them in a folder. Who we got Sarah. Hi Sarah, how are you in Mansfield? It's Sarah's daughter Katie that's actually sitting on the trampoline doing this. We've got Joe. Hi Joe, lovely to see you back. I can't wait to see yours because your backgrounds the other day, they were magical. Hi Trish, I'm really looking forward to seeing yours as well. Hi Victoria. It's lovely, isn't it? Trish said like, hello everyone, and it's right, we've got this big creative community, and what this situation has actually done is it's forced me outside of my comfort zone, and I've come onto the computer, and we've had 900 views on the other video. If you share this video as well, and this community is getting bigger, and it's wonderful. The more people that we can get to connect with their inner creative, the better. And I think as the weeks go by, we're going to need it more and more, aren't we? Hi Claire, lovely to see you, Claire Hammond. Can't wait to see yours. You sent a picture, and I'm going to talk to you about that later. That looked wonderful. I haven't had a chance to post it online. That's looking very magical, that crystal ball, isn't it? Right, what I wanted to do, if you haven't seen the first video that I done on Wednesday about colouring your paper, you can still go back on the Explore and Draw page and access that. It's also under Luna's Ego on my YouTube channel. This will be downloaded. So the one that we done this morning, that was really talking about still life and about mapping and measuring. And I did quickly mention about the continuous line and doing one with your eyes shut. So I hope you have a chance to have a go at that. I appreciate that you may not complete anything today. I don't know where the hour and a half went. I turned round, it was gone. So it's fine, let's chill. You can do it over the course of the day, you can do it over the course of the week. What I really want you to do, your promise to me, is to try and put a little bit of time aside every day to connect with your inner creative, even if that's a very quick continuous line drawing, or if it's a still life study. If things are getting too much, get that apple, get that pear, get that lovely pot that someone brought you, a lovely friend, and sit and draw and paint it and get the pleasure out of that. Because you will. There's Kathleen. Hi Kathleen, I've got my hat on. I had it on last time as well. Kathleen, Kathy Keith, fantastic milliner and artist. Kathy, when I post this on YouTube, and the same with Bob Lamoon. I'm going to ask you, can I take your details, and we'll post them on there as well. Let's share the love. Hi Keris, I can't wait to see yours because you're great with your imagination. And I did think of you when I thought about the crystal ball, and when I said about the gnomes, the Swedish gnomes, you know, imagining their little village. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here's the Swedish gnome all the way from Luleå. And here's the ones here. That's the crystal ball. You'll see all of these on the Explore and Draw page. And this is the hard one, isn't it? The fruit. Andre's good at this. Oh, she does wonderful pictures. You would have seen those at the Halpen Gallery. She has exhibited. Right, let's have a look. Who else have we got? There's Angela Yates. How are you, darling? Angela actually... she won that competition, you know, the elephant. Oh, I wish I'd entered, but she won it. And that's all on hold, but you're going to do that after. It's something to look forward to, isn't it? So you're going to see these elephants popping up everywhere, and elephants been coming to me as well. Peacocks and elephants. It's something magical about an elephant. So very wise, aren't they? And they live a long time. Oh, this is lovely. This is really lovely. Right, thanks for your support. So you can watch this back anytime, so don't worry if you join us late. So I spoke to you this morning about the wonder of still life, and I also spoke to you about mapping and measuring. It's hard work. It's not easy. And just because you get one picture right doesn't mean that the next time you go to do your still life, you're going to get it wrong. You have to grow your confidence as an artist, and you have to think, what is it? What isn't working right? You know, is it too dark? Does it need a bit of light? Is it too red? And I'm going to give you some little tips. So if you want me to carry on with these videos and support Explore and Draw, buymeacoffee.com, posted it on my site. I really appreciate everyone that's done that, and that's just going to help us out at this difficult time. I also wanted to show you this still life here. I picked this up in a charity shop. Now, I don't know if anyone knows this artist, but it's Edward Griffiths, and it's old ink bottles, this painting's called. I got it for a tenner. Kathy will be going, no, because you always get the bargains, don't you, Kathy? You get them before me. But I got this, and it's an original oil painting on board, which is the best. And I just marvel over it. I'd love to do more of these videos on acrylic painting and oil painting. So, you know, keep with me, stick with me, and maybe this time it will push ourselves. We'll find new skills and we'll find new ways to be, and it will be good for everyone. It's certainly good for the planet at the moment. Right, hi Sean. Oh, did you enter? Well done, Sean. I wanted to enter, but I wanted to enter the elephant painting competition, but I wanted to do an automatic drawing, and they wouldn't let you do that. You had to produce, you know, what you was going to do. Never mind. Maybe next time. There'll always be opportunities. So in this second video, I wanted to talk to you a very little, I don't want to make it too long, but you know what I'm like. I wanted to talk to you about colour theory in its simplest form and how I understand it. Colour is something that you can study your whole life. Simon Mills, fantastic painter, he's fantastic with colour. He talks about pure colour. We've done a workshop with him, but I'm just going to stick to the basics for today's session. And I'm going to show you very quickly, and then I'm going to demonstrate by painting the Swedish gnome, and then you can apply it, the same rules, to your fruit bowl, because I haven't given up with that. I've got that here. I could see that jug was way off. But it's good to make mistakes, all right? There's no right or wrong way of doing this. And I do want to see some of those continuous line drawings. So I've got these paints. Now we've been using food colouring from the kitchen for people that didn't have any paints. You might have watercolours. You might have acrylics. If you have, make sure you keep your brushes in that water with acrylics, because they will dry out if you don't wash them properly. But I've got these little palettes. they all sort of stick together. They're very good for demonstrations because I don't have to keep squeezing a bit out of a tube. I know, Trish, you use the tube watercolours. They're beautiful. So I want to talk to you about a few different things. So with the Swedish gnomes, we talked about the triangle, didn't we? And the crystal ball was circular, the circular shape, a circular grouping and a triangular grouping. Well, the fruit bowl is really more based on the Z. I've spoken to a few people about this at Explore and Draw, but I'm going to say it now. The Western eye reads from left to right. So we go from left to right, it comes down and it goes across. So if you imagine a capital Z. Now that's quite interesting to know, because if you do photography, if you do anything on the diagonal or painting, this will make a lovely composition. And sometimes we do this intuitively. We take a photo and then I could look at that photo, or you'll do a painting, I can look at that painting and say, yeah, that's because you've done this diagonal. And I say it all the time at Explore and Draw, because you do it intuitively. You don't know you're doing it. It doesn't apply to everything. There's many different ways to make a composition and no one way, but that is worth remembering. And this is why this works so well. And if it had flowers in here, it would work even better. But I didn't want to put flowers in there. Number one, I didn't have any, and I didn't want to go to the supermarket. And number two, then it would have been quite hard to scale this down and not lose the top of your flowers. But if you had the flowers, you would have had this interest to the flowers, down to the lemon, across, and if I'd put the apple there, even better. So this is worth remembering with the composition. I just wanted to mention that because I didn't say it last time. Now, lots of you know primary colours are red, yellow and blue. And secondary colours are when you mix those colours together. So secondary is when you use two. So you've got your purple, orange and green, haven't you? So your purple is when you mix your your red and your blue together. Your orange is when you mix your red and your yellow, and your green is when you mix your yellow and your blue. Okay, and these are what we call cool and warm colours. So the reds and the oranges and the yellows, they are the warm colours. You know, when they have a lovely warm brown, it's got lots of yellow in it, lots of red in it. They're your warms. And then your cools, so your blues, and like your purpley blues and your violets, they're your cools. And your mid colours are your green. Okay, your greens. Now, if you've got a yellowy green, it's going to make it warm, and if you've got a bluey green, it's going to make it cool, but your green will really sit in the middle. This is worth remembering. So, yeah, let me just show you. So, if we didn't have a lot of time at all when we had that break. Sort of flew by. Let's have a look here. Who we got? Oh, we've got loads more comments. Hi, Leah. Your painting is wonderful with the brush. Really loving those. Really, really lovely. Hi, Mum. So if you've got the yellow, I'm going to talk about complementary colours and how they push the other colour out. Just to start, you might know this already. So if you've got your yellow, that is a bit of a greeny yellow, excuse me. And then we've got this purple. Oh, that's not my purple. It's going to be purple. That's a blue. That's the thing with these. You can't always see what colour they are. Oh, hold on. I had it earlier. Let's mix it. I'm going to mix it. So I'm mixing blue and red to get me purple. So that's me purple and me yellow. So they're complementary colours. They're the opposite on the colour wheel, okay? And then we've got the red and the green. They're going to be like little traffic lights here. There's your red. Hope you can see this. Should have done them a bit bigger, but I want to do other stuff on this paper. And that's your green. So you see this at Christmas a lot, don't you, this combination? Trying to let that dry so I don't smudge it in. And then we're going to do, my brain, it's so, I've got this dyslexic brain, it's terrible. Right, and then your blue and your orange. I know people are relating to that. You know, when you know exactly what it is you want to say, you can't think of it. It's most probably the nerves as well. So I know that looks like an orange, but that is actually a red. Oh no, that doesn't. Let's put a little bit more yellow in that. So add a bit more yellow, that's your orange. Okay. So anyway, the reason I want to show you these is so that you can see the cool and the warm together. So you've got the warm of the yellow and then the cool of the purple. So anything that you do with purple and yellow, oh, it's scrummy. If you see paintings with purple and yellow in, you'll look at them and instantly quite pleasing to the eye. Then the red and the green. The red comes right out of the green. If you practice this at home, you'll see it jumps out at you. So red and green, again, can look gorgeous together. Georgia O'Keeffe, she paints flowers. She painted flowers, I think in the 60s. Absolutely wonderful. She uses those colours. And then we've got the blue and the orange. My favourite. I wish they'd use more, make more clothes in that colour. So orange will come out and the blue will go back. Okay, so the complementary colours, the opposite colour will push. Well, when you're painting, that's worth remembering, because if you're using a warm colour, you want to really offset it with a cool colour and then a cooler warm. So I thought with the gnome that I would have a go and I'd just sort of talk you through this. So I'm just going to very quickly draw my gnome. We done him this morning, didn't we? So we know that 3/4 down, he's not. Say about like that. That's his hat. I'm going to just draw him. There's his nose. That's his. This is very, very quick. Because I'm using these squash spheres, you know, these ones that I told you about, that gives me that sense of 3D as well. So that's him there. So when I'm painting him, obviously he has got, I know you can't see that pencil, but hopefully you'll see this when I start painting. So he's got a red hat. Now I could put a yellow under that. I will do other painting videos. So I'm just going to put his red in. Like that. And I'm going to put the rest of the colours in. So just the grey. So I'm copying this one on here. I hope you can see this online. So that's that grey. And it's going to drip a bit. I'm not too bothered. Because as this will dry, you'll see it. I'm going to build this up very, very quickly. So this is his jumper. Like that. Yeah, need to keep talking you through. So this is the grey. So I'm just putting the colours that I'm seeing at the moment before I talk you through the colour theory. Okay, now his nose, I know it's a white, but it's not just a white, it might have a little bit of red in there. It's not quite right, but you get the gist. That's more yellow, but I'll add to that later. Right, let's do his little beard. Now I've made that's quite yellowy at the moment. Right, so I've just it doesn't look so yellow on your screen, that's good. So now let's talk through the colour theory. We know that his hat bowls forward like this, doesn't it? It comes round. So if we use more red in this area, if we build that up, you see I've got all these colours, and we do the more red here, that's going to make that coming towards you. And then if you cool it on the sides with a blue, now it will normally go cooler as it goes around the corner and lighter. But let's just see how I get on with this. So if I can put like a cooler colour around the side. Now, I'm going to build in some, I'm not bothered, I'm just trusting myself. I know I can make this work. So if I put some more yellow in that red at the top, that's going to bring that even more, because if I make the red like a yellowy red, that's going to bring it more towards you, because it's like the sunshine coming through it. Okay, so now I'm going to go down to this top. You see, this is like a dark grey top. And I'm going to put that slight bit of blue here on the sides. Now, in theory, it should get whiter, but if it, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it appears like a stronger line of dark. So you have to just look at what you're doing. And again, he's got the lighter grey, hasn't he, on his arms? You can't see him quite there. I'll bring him. So he's got the grey there. So these subtle shades, they don't have to be strong. That's quite strong so you can see it. But these subtle shades will actually make that look as if it's going away from you. That's a bit strong. But if I start putting the warmer into this, so a little bit of red or something, a little bit of reddy colour into that grey, just a tad. You won't see that possibly your end, but even though it's a grey, because I've warmed it up, it's going to be coming towards you. Now let's do a little bit. I'm going to stop looking at the camera a bit and just start building him up. So putting in his little beard, like that, and then I can use the white. Now if it's a yellowy white, it will come, it's like a warm cream, it's going to come towards you. And sometimes a bright white can be a highlight and come towards you, but sometimes a white can sit in the background as well. Now I wanted to talk to you about left. You know, I said about the zigzag, so your eye will read across like this. If you watch the art of still life and the Vimeo video that I told you about, it will also talk about the light coming from the left. So a lot of the paintings that you see in galleries, the Western eye again, the light will come from the left. Now it's up to you where your light source is in your house. If you've got your electricity on, the light might be coming from all around. The best way to see where the light is hitting your object is to sort of squint your eyes, okay? Yeah, but some reason I tend to do the light coming from the other side, but I just want to give you that little bit of information so you think about where the light's coming from. I'm just going to see who's here with me. Jojo, hi Jojo, how are you? Are you cooking loads and hopefully creating as well? That's fantastic. Hi Christine, how are you? I hope you're going to get your paints out. So I've got my white, so I'm going to just pick out little bits here. Bit yellowy. So if I go back to my hat now, you see how that well, I'm going to go to his body just quickly. That's a bit strong. But those warm colours are just going to bring that towards you a little bit. So let's add the more. So as this is drying, I start putting a little bit more of red in there. You see how that's going to make that come towards you. So the cool on the outside and then the warm there, and that's going to, and you can keep doing that with subtle glazes. Keep glazing. You see this? And then because his arm is back, I can the arms on the sides, they go away from him. I can just cool those off a bit. And I can cool that hand off a bit that's near his sides, because they're going to get the shadow. You do have a thing called reflective light as well. So if the sun is coming this way and he's having the light hit him here, then you would, in theory, get some reflected light coming back here as well. okay? But for the moment, let's not complicate it too much. So where his nose is, if I wanted to make that go back a little bit more to show that that's going back, I could put like a cool colour against that warm colour there. Yeah? So can you see about this pull and push of the warm and the cool? Now, it doesn't mean that if you want something to come towards you, you need to put in a bright orange and a bright red. You might only want to put in a tiny little bit of red into that colour that you was using. You was using a brown, and you want to put a tiny little bit of red into that brown just to bring it round. That's what you do. Now, a green is what they call a mid colour. I didn't find this out till much later. So if we imagine the forest here, how am I doing for time? Oh, it goes so quickly. To me, that's just gone in a moment. I hope I haven't been boring. So if I just put the blue in the background there, so you see that's going to make that go away. And then if I put the yellow in the green here, that's going to make it come towards you. I hope that makes sense. It's not as bright on your screen as it is on, like watching it through here, as it is when I'm doing it here. So that will make it towards you, that will go away from you. And that is the colour theory. Very basic, okay? So your complementary colours are going to push. So if you remember that, so if you're doing a background and you've got something that's very red, you might put a green wash behind. Or if you've got a very warm painting, you might put a lovely cool blue wash behind. I didn't want to give up with this one. I saw my mistake as soon as I came offline with the pot. It's because you're sort of twisted and it's very difficult. So here, I've done the same. I've been adding the red. Let me get my painted picture that I'm working from. So the more red that I put in here and the more yellows, the more I'm going to make that come towards me, okay? And then the more cools, even if I took that red, even, let me show you, even if you took that all the way round there, I know that's quite orangey, like that really yellow. Don't worry, because you can always go, if you're using a watercolour or acrylic, you can glaze it over the top. Okay, I'm trying not to use so much tissue. So you can cool it off after. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, and this is how you create the curve. Obviously brush strokes, there's lots of other, but that's just a very basic. And I wanted to carry on with this. And so what I was doing when I got to the colour, I was just mapping out where the areas were. Okay, so these grapes, if I want them to come towards me, which they would because they'd be in front, then I'd put a little bit of yellow in those to bring that towards me. Okay, and the same with that apple. If I wanted that to come as if it was coming right towards me, I'd put that there. But then I'd still remember at some point, this is fun, isn't it? I hope you're enjoying this. You can put the blue around the side, or the coal. It doesn't have to be blue. It will be something with a little bit of blue in it, just to pull that round. And there would still be some on the apple as well, because that would be cool. Yeah, and slowly, slowly you build that up. Okay, I think that's it. Let me just very quickly show you this bit. This is the brown. How are we for time? Half an hour, that's all right. So this is the brown that I'm going to put. I need these paints, you have to get them wet and then you have to like stick your brush in them. That's it. So that's hitting the light that side, which is lovely. But again, that, because it's away from me, could have that little bit of a blue in it. I've put it quite exaggerated to show you. And then here, that could have a little bit of red mixed into it, into the brown. Lava that up a little bit. See? And then the red of the sheet at the front, you could really mix that into that brown. And this is obviously just the first coat. So what I might do is I might carry on working on these in the day. It's only thin paper, but I think I'll carry on working with it. And I love going in with mixed media. So I started off with watercolour, and then I might dry that all off with a hairdryer, do it again, keep building up the layers, and then I might get out my fine liners and go around it with the dark pen, and then get my white gel pen or some white paint and look for that light. Is it coming from the left? And put all those little dots of white on it, or cream, to bring out those highlights. And that's how I would render and finish the painting. So I'm going to carry on with that for the rest of the day, and then I'm going to come back at 2 o'clock, and I'm just going to talk to you about how to ground your object, how to ground it, and maybe think about those contrasting backgrounds. Okay, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this. Keep posting your pictures through. Andre asked a very good question. If you just hashtag explore and draw, okay, or just send me a message direct, or post it on the, yeah, I think you've got to hashtag it to get it on the wall, because it has to go past me first. I think that's just the settings, but that's okay. And then I'll put them all into a folder. So carry on creating, have lunch, have a break. About now, we would be stopping for explore and draw, wouldn't we? We'd have an explore and draw coffee break, tea break, and we'd have cake and everything now. I'd be giving you a lemon drizzle, wouldn't I? Or a chocolate brownie or something like that. You must take a break. You must get up, stand away from the work, go in the other room, do something different, come back in. You'll see it differently in 10 minutes' time. You'll see it differently in a week's time, in a month's time, and in 5 years' time, you'll think it was absolutely fantastic. It's a bit like an old photo when you don't appreciate it at the time. So don't be too hard on yourself. Don't give yourself a hard time. This is a bit of fun. And don't forget, if you feel like, oh, I'm exhausted, I've mapped and measured, I'm working with all these colours, then why don't you just stop for half an hour, have something to eat, have a drink, and then do your continuous line drawing, where you just draw without taking your pencil off the paper, and then do one with your eyes shut, what you've just been studying. Do it on a tiny little bit of paper. Maybe you've got one of these and you want to just do it. I've been studying that for an hour, I've had a break, I just want to do one with my eyes shut. You'll be surprised how much your creative memory holds in your head. You'll have more in there than you think. And I'll see you again at 2. I bet that will go really quickly as well. Thanks again. See you. Bye.